So what are the OOP principles? Not only for Java. So if you want to call any programming language as object-oriented programming language, so that particular programming language has to satisfy the following behavior, like following properties or principles. So what are those properties? Let me list out those. Like one is abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. See? So these are the four principles, like action, encapsulation, inheritance, and then polymorphism. Like, so we'll see one by one what is each and every principle then. We'll look into abstraction first. So what is abstraction like? So abstraction is very simple to understand, like abstract, which is not clear, which is not clear in the sense which is not detailed, which is very abstract. Means why you shouldn't be detailed, why you should be abstract. The thing is that in order to avoid the complexity. So abstraction means, so the technical definition means like simply it is like hiding the details, called abstraction. Means you are not involving into the complexity of the system. So representing a system as per the definition, representing the system without involving its complexity. So this is what abstraction means. Let's say like for a simple example, let's say you should know how to use the system. Means, so if I want to switch on the fan, I want to make my fan rotate in my room, what I need to know is that I shouldn't know anything about electromagnetics and all. I shouldn't know anything about mechanics and all. Only thing I should know is that I need to click on the switch. That's it. That is what abstraction means. I know that when I switch on, the fan will rotate. So means what internally happening and how it is being rotating and how the speed is being controlled, how the wind is blowing, everything I'm material of it. The only thing I want to know is that I want to switch on the fan so that it is going to be rotated, so that I can control the speed of the fan by using some regulator. Only that much I should know. That is what abstraction means. You are so taking away the complexity of the system, so from the end user. That is what abstraction is called. Like say better example, see, so when I want to check for some data online, or I want to check my result, once I have given my examination, I want to check my university result, or I want to check my some competitive examination result. How do I check? Like you'll go through the website and you click on a corresponding link and you key in your hall ticket number or matric ID and then click on submit button. So as soon as you click on submit button, you'll be getting the result, like, so what is the grade of a particular subject and all. It will be displayed. Means, so in order to get the data, so where it is getting from the data is from the your corresponding university or corresponding organization, your corresponding, there is a data source where your data will be stored into a particular database. In order to retrieve that, you need to write an SQL query, right? You need to write a query. The query should be executed and the result should be taken, and the result should be so displayed in a beautiful form, in a format or in a report. So this whole thing will be done using programmer, but I am not bothering about the entire thing. Only thing I should know is that I can use this system by just key in my hall ticket number and just click on the submit button. That is what abstraction. Abstraction means, so without involving into the system, you could represent it. Why? Because in order to hide the complexity from the end user, you should not exhibit any complexity to the end user. See, abstraction is not only the principle of object-oriented programming language. So abstraction is a principle which is carried by all programming languages. All high-level programming languages exhibit abstraction. Let's say you are simply writing system dot out dot println, right? If you are writing system dot out dot println and doing something, so how it is going to display on the screen? Are you writing any code? No. You are utilizing already existing function called system dot out dot println. Means you don't know what is defined in system dot out dot println method, but you know how to use it. That is what abstraction means. You should know how to use a system and you're not bothering about how the system is being implemented. That is what abstraction. Any, not only object oriented programming language, any programming language is following abstraction. Yes, it's any programming language in the sense, any high level programming language follows abstraction. So this is what abstraction. Is there any doubt or any clarification needed regarding abstraction? Is encapsulation. So this is encapsulation. So what is encapsulation? The name itself saying that you should encapsulate. You need to bind, you need to pack together. So what you are needing to binding, what you are packing together, encapsulation means. So technically the definition is like wrapping of code and data together as a single unit. So this is what the technical definition of abstraction. What do you mean by exactly this definition? Wrapping up of code and data. Where you can observe code and data in Java program. Where? Where you find code and data in Java program?
The backend is in the Java program, you mean?
Yeah, in the Java program. So we have many examples, right?
Yeah.
So this is example for one Java program. Is this program containing data? Yes, right?
Yes, X, Y.
Yeah. And this programming containing code, yes, a method called add, right? Here code and data means member and method. Code and data in the sense member and method. So where the members and methods are located? In a class, right? In a class. Encapsulation means anything should not be outside a class, everything should be inside a class. Why? Because class is a secure entity. If you put anything outside, it means that it doesn't have any security. Means if you kept open, it means that it is not having any security. Why I'm specifically encapsulation? Because there is some other programming language called C programming. You might have heard like C programming. So there is no concept of class. And there is a concept called function, right? In C we write functions, but those functions we write outside the main. Means you can write them globally. Global means which are open to all. If you declare some data global, every function can access. Means there is no security. Encapsulation means security for what? Security for data. Any function can manipulate, any function can modify the data so that it may leads to inconsistency. So what is encapsulation is like bringing code and data together, so binding it as a single unit. As a single unit, what is that single unit? Have you observed in previous programs what is the single unit? So how do I access class members and methods? How do I access class members and methods? So A, B, C are members of add class, right? At the same time, add method is also member of add class. How do I access these members and methods? By creating an object, right? By creating an object. What is an object? Object is again instance of a class, right? What is the single unit mean by? Single unit is your object. Means if you create an object for a particular class, so you can access the code and you can access the data together. That is what binding means. That object is your wrapping element. So if you create an object for a particular class, you can access the data, you can access the code. Means object is encapsulating your class members and methods. That is what encapsulation. What is the main objective of encapsulation is to provide data security. So this is the main perspective, main significance of encapsulation. Encapsulation means everything should write inside a class. Everything should be inside a class. Without, so no single statement will be outside in Java program. C++ is also following abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. But why C++ is not object-oriented programming language? Because you can write some code outside the class also. Means without class also you can write a program. Any object-oriented program should contain something called class. Why? Without class there is no object. Without object there is no object-oriented programming. So that is the reason Java is a complete fully object-oriented programming language, because so without object you cannot write a single class. Without a single class you cannot write any single program in Java. That is the reason Java is fully object oriented and C++ is object based. Whatever all the features that are provided by Java as part of OOPS, so each and every feature will be provided is existing in C++, but still C++ is not object oriented, because without class also you can write a program. If you are writing a program without class, means there is no object. If there is no object, means there is no object orientation, means there is no encapsulation. Whenever there is no encapsulation, that programming language cannot be called as object oriented programming language. So encapsulation, what is the main significance? Is to data security. How do you provide data security? Means if the data is global, any function can access. If data belongs to a particular class, only that particular object can access. Means only that particular object can access. Means that is how you are providing the security. Without creating object of that particular class, you are not supposed to access that class member. You are not supposed to access that class method. That is how you are providing the encapsulation, means security through encapsulation. So this is what encapsulation. So every program inbuilt, it is exhibiting abstraction, it is exhibiting encapsulation. There is no special designated example in order to demonstrate abstraction and encapsulation. Every Java program you find encapsulation, every Java program you find abstraction. So now we'll come to the next one. So inheritance. What is inheritance literally? Stephen, like, Liso, Jaideep, what is inheritance like?
Within the class or
Yeah, normally the literal meaning, what we use, the common meaning of inheritance. You'll be saying that, so you got the eyes of your father, somebody will be
legacy, legacy.
Yeah, so that is inheritance. Means you are getting the offsprings are acquired some of the characteristics of their parents. Will be saying that is what inheritance like.
Yeah.
So inheritance, it's a kind of transmitting property from our parents, is called inheritance, right?
Yeah.
Means suppose, so your father have a bike, means you can use it, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the property bike belongs to your father, but still you have access to use that particular. Means why this property inheritance? Because we said class is a secure entity. If a member method belongs to one particular class, no other class supposed to access those members and methods, right? But there is a case in real time that I need to access members of one particular class, methods of one particular class. Why? Because it is a kind of reusability. I don't want to create one more. Already you have a car at home, already you have a bike at home. Why should I go for second one? Until and unless it is necessary and mandatory, right? So
Yeah.
what this inheritance is speaking about, right? Means in certain cases, certain code or certain methods, certain data should be shared among different classes. Not only belonging to one particular class, should be shared among different classes. In such case, because Java is encapsulated, it is having security inbuilt, so you cannot share the data, you cannot share the code in such circumstances, what you can do is that you can inherit one particular class from already existing class. Means it's a kind of giving permission to access my data, to access my methods. That is what inheritance means. Inheritance means it's a kind of, what is the main agenda of this is reusability. Code can be reused, data can be reused. That is what inheritance. The literal meaning is like, so deriving new class means deriving a new class from an existing class. Deriving a new class from existing class. What does it mean? The new class is having the similar properties of its parent class, right? The similar
Yeah.
properties of its parent class, but still some properties will be extended. Means since it's a new class, some features may be additionally added, right? So 98 of Windows operating system, you have like 2000 version of Windows operating system. Definitely all the features of 98 are available in 2000, right? But still with some advanced features like XP. Like means already one particular class. Let's say there is one black and white TV. Monochrome TV is available, right? If you say the color TV is a derived class of black and white TV, can I say like that? Because all the properties of monochrome is available in the multicolor TV also. And I can say like, means it is having some extended features also. What is the functionality? The audio functionality is the same. The video functionality is the same. What is the excessive functionality? The video will be colored. Means what is this inheritance means? You can use some of the components which are already existing. That is what means a class is existing. The class contains many methods. The class contains many data. So that I can use all those methods and members. Still I can extend the property of the class. Means without disturbing the existing functionality, you can extend the functionality. That is the main agenda of inheritance. What is the significance is like reusability. So reusability is the significance of inheritance. But how this inheritance can be achieved and what are the various kinds of inheritances that are available, we'll see. So let's say there is class A and class A got some properties, means methods and members. Suppose if I want to share class A properties with class B, class A properties with class B. Let's assume like there is something called class A having some code. Now I am writing class B and class B should access the members and methods of class A. You need to use a keyword called extends. Extends means class B is an extension of A. All properties of A are available in B. In addition to that, B may have also new properties. That is a different issue. But all the properties of A can be acquired to B. So B can access all the members of A. B can access all the methods of A. This is what inheritance means. So class A is called as parent class. Class B is called child class. And there are different names. Class A is called base class. Class B is called derived class. At the same time, there is one more name. Class A is called super class. Class B is called subclass. You got what is inheritance? What do you mean by inheritance?
Yeah.
So let me explain with an example. Okay. I just write one class A. And class A is having like some property called A. Class A is having some property called A. And let's say a equals to 10. And I want to write one function in a public void like twice. I am writing a simple function. In this twice function, what I am doing is that system.out.println. So I want to twice the value of a. So how to twice the value of a? So leave about the logic and all. Just I wrote one class called class a, and what I am trying to do is that I am trying to twice the value of a using a simple function. There is no logic. Just 2 into a, it will be twice. So with this, my class a code was ended. I am writing class b. Class b public void price. Let's say price. So system dot out dot println a into 3. You will be getting an error, right? It is showing an error, right? A cannot be resolved. A cannot be resolved. Why A cannot be resolved? Because I have no member called A in class B. So it's illegal to use A without declaring it in class B. Now, see, I will simply write here extends A. Now there is no error. Have you seen? I have not declared the variable A. Just what I did is that I wrote extends A, means I made class B as a child class of A. What does it mean? Child can use family like parent properties. So A is property of whom? A is property of class A. So but that A can be used in class B. Yeah, class B without creating any object, right? I am not creating any object of class A, but still I can directly use member A in B. If you create an object, you can use, still it belongs to that particular object, but without creating an object, you could able to access member and method of one particular class in another class. That is what inheritance means. Actually, see, if I want to call this method, which object I need to create? I need to create a class object, right? Now what I am doing is that I am creating object for class B. So B OB equals to new B. So with object, it is legal to access the function thrice, because thrice belongs to whom?
Class B.
Is thrice, yeah, so that it can be accessed, right?
Yeah.
If I run this program, so you are getting the value 30, 10 into 3, right? It is okay. It is very normal, because thrice function belongs to B, so that with the object of B I can access the function thrice, but with the object B I can access thrice function also. But twice belongs to whom? Twice belongs to A, right?
Class A. Yeah.
But still you can access with B object. Why? Because B is your derived class. This is what inheritance means. Inheritance means you can acquire one class properties to another class. So that is what inheritance. So this kind of inheritance what I wrote here, this means one single class inherited from one single class. This kind of inheritance is called single inheritance. There are various kinds of inheritances. We have seen like single inheritance. Is the relation is like this: one base class extended to one derived class. This kind of relation is called single inheritance. But what are the various forms of inheritances is like, there is another kind of inheritance is called multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance. So what is multiple inheritance? See, there is class A which is already existing and there is class B. Suppose if you are trying to extend C from A and extend C from B, what you are expecting then? You are expecting properties of A and properties of B into C, right? And A, B are not having any relation, but C is trying to inherit from A and C is trying to inherit from B. Means you are trying to have two different class properties in a single class. This is what multiple inheritance is called. This is what multiple inheritance means. How many parent classes for C? C has two parents, A and B. Can be many also, not only A and B, A, B, C or D something. Means if you are trying to inherit, if you are trying to derive a class from more than one classes, that kind of relation is called multiple inheritance. But it is not supported by Java directly. Multiple inheritance is not supported by Java directly. Why? Because it says like one parent should not contain more than one parent. One child should have only one parent, right? So it says that one child should have only one parent. But in such circumstances, there are very rare circumstances where you should have two or more parents. That can be evaluated or realized in Java using a special concept called interfaces. So, but as of now, you have to remember that multiple inheritances is not supported in Java directly. Indirectly, in the sense I said, by using interfaces, you can implement multiple inheritance. But as of now, you have to remember that multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. This kind of relationship is called multiple inheritance. And another kind of inheritance is like multi-level. Multi-level inheritance. What is multi-level inheritance? Suppose there is a class A is parent of B, and if you derive one more class C, which is parent of 2, which is having parent called B. See, this kind of inheritance is called multi-level. Means class B extends A. Here A is the parent class, B is the child class. Class C extends B means if you inherit, if you derive a new class from a derived class, means A is grandparent of C, right? A is grandparent of C. B is parent of C. This kind of relation is called multi-level inheritance. Means if a class is derived from a derived class in the sense, again the derived class is having a parent class, means it is coming from your ancestors. That is what multi-level inheritance means. It is having the properties from previous generations, previous classes, previous versions. So this kind of inheritance is called multi-level inheritance. This is possible in Java and it is legal like. So one parent, its child, and its child, grandchild, great-grandchild, like that. That is possible in Java. So this is what multiple inheritance in Java. And fourth kind of thing is called hybrid inheritance. Hybrid inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? So if we combine single and multi-level, so that is what hybrid inheritance. If you combine one or two forms, if you combine more than one forms of inheritances, that is called hybrid inheritance. So this sometimes you may do that. So this is what inheritance in theoretically. So how the inheritance can be implemented? Using a keyword called extends. So whenever you use the keyword called extends, so that you can acquire the properties of the parent class into the newly created class. This is how the inheritance can be realized in Java. So is it clear what is inheritance and what are the various forms? Any concerns or queries?
No.
No. Okay. Thank you. So is the same with like Lijo and Jaideep also?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Then we'll switch to an important object-oriented principle, what's so called polymorphism. Polymorphism. What is polymorphism? Poly, like many, like morphism, like forms, like existing in many forms. Polymorphism. If I say my mom, he is my mom only, and she is like daughter-in-law for like my grandfather, like, and she is wife of my dad. She is sister to her sister. She is sister to her brother. Like one entity existing in many forms, right? Polymorphism. Suppose if I say system dot out dot println, so that can print an integer, right? That can print a character, that can print a string, that can print a boolean value. Means one particular entity existing in many forms is called polymorphism. Existing in many forms, that is what polymorphism. So it is mandatory that you should have the application should exhibit polymorphism. Why? Depending upon the input, depending upon the situation, depending upon the user, so you should exhibit polymorphism function. So simply how it can be used, like with a simple example we try to understand what is polymorphism. Polymorphism, the definition is like exhibiting multiple functionalities. I can say simply existing in many forms. Existing in many forms. This is what polymorphism, existing in many forms. This polymorphism can be realized in Java, not only in Java, in C++ or any object-oriented or object-based programming language. So it can be realized as two different ways. One is called overloading. Overloading. And another one is called overriding. Overloading and then overriding. So these are the two ways how you can achieve polymorphism. What is overloading? Overloading is static polymorphism. Overloading is static polymorphism, whereas overriding is dynamic polymorphism. Dynamic polymorphism. Now we look into what is overloading and what is overriding. So what do you mean by overloading? What is overloading, right? What is overloading? Just now we have seen as a simple example of like 9 to 6 I'm a developer, like again from 7 to 8:30 I'm a trainer. I have been overloaded. But the same entity is being overloaded depending upon the input, right? depending upon the input. That is what overloading. Overloading means the method will be overloaded. The method will be exhibiting multiple functionality based on the parameter, based on the number of parameters, based on the type of parameters. So let me define technically what is overloading, and then we'll see with an example. Overloading. Overloading. So this term overloading, in Java it is applicable for only method overloading, but in C++ an operator overloading also can be done. But here in Java, method overloading. What is method overloading? Means all the methods where you are going to write in a class, right? In a class you should write one method name only one time. But here in overloading concept is that you can declare a method name more than one time, but still the compiler won't accept if it is the same, but there is a constraint. What is that constraint? If a method is existing in a class, if a method is existing in a class for more than one time, either change in a number of parameters or type of parameters. So this is what, then that particular method is said to be overloaded. And the method is said to be overloaded. So we'll see with a small example. Writing one class. I'm creating one variable called area. Okay, let's see. Result. Now I write a method, public void area. A method called area, right? And int s. S stands for, let's say, side. What is the formula for area of a square? No need of result. What is the formula for area of a side square? Right, size. Side into side, right? Side square.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, if I say public void area, if I write int, not s, maybe a, something else, but still, if you observe, I'm getting an error, right?
Yeah.
Here, what is the error? Duplicate method area int. Here, how many number of parameters are there in the method? One parameter, right? One parameter. And what is the type of the parameter? Is integer, right? And I am trying to write the same method with same number of parameters and same type of parameters. It is giving an array. So because This method name is also area. This method name is also area. And this method is containing only one parameter of type integer. This method is also having one type of parameter called integer. So this is not allowed. Now, as per the definition, what is overloading? Either change in the number of parameters or type of parameters. Now, I will change int L, int B, means length and breadth. What could be the area of this object? This is, you say length and breadth. What is the object? Rectangle, right? I think so. Lower class mathematics you have forgotten. Like rectangle formula, area formula is length into breadth, right?
Breadth. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, if you see, the area is common and the type of parameter is common, right? Here the type of parameter is int and here also the type of parameter is int. But if you see, the number of parameters are different. Here you have only one parameter and you have here two parameters. It is allowed. Means a class will not allow two methods or three methods with same name. Means it won't allow more than one method with same name. But it allows only when either the method differed by either number of parameters or type of parameters. Means the method area was overloaded. This area method is exhibiting area of a square. This area method is exhibiting area of a rectangle. So what is the benefit, like why it is called overloading or something? Because it's a matter of instruction set. What do you mean by instruction set or something? Like suppose if there are, how many geometrical objects are available? Suppose if I'm designing a CAD CAM, so which helps in mechanical engineers to have their designs and all. So they deal with objects like cylinders, conical, like everything. So when they are, say, area of a rectangle, area of a circle, area of a triangle, area of a cube, something, if they are doing like that, it is very ridiculous to remember area of something, volume of something, height of something, base of something. So it's like I need to remember only one word called area, but how can it resolve in real time? So when it comes to runtime, it can be resolved by using the number of parameters or type of parameters. I need to remember only that. Means you are reducing the complexity of remembering the function names. No need to remember all the functions, because all the functions you have the same name, but where you are differentiating by applying the input. I should not have one printf statement for integer, one printf statement for character, one print statement for string. No, I can have only single print statement, but the parameters will be changing, so that the same function name can exhibit multiple functionality is called overloading. Here overloading means polymorphism, means area is existing in many forms. So this is what polymorphism called. Polymorphism means existing in many forms, and this is example for overloading. What is overloading? If the same function exists for many times in a class, either by changing the number of parameters or by the change in the number of type of the parameters, is called overloading. This is what overloading called as overloading. But which function will be called? Based on the parameter, the function will be called. Overload, I am creating object of that overload class. OB dot area. If I give only one parameter, which result you will be getting? You will be getting the area of a square, right? There are two area functions, but which function was called? Depending upon the parameter, the function will be called.
In this case, how it's going to pick the area of a square? Oh, okay.
Yeah, if I give length breadth value, it is going to take. No need to have two different names. No need to have three different names. Only thing you need to do is that you clearly observe the number of parameters, clearly observe the type of parameters, so that you can reduce the complexity of remembering many methods. Suppose if you keep on writing one method for one functionality, it is very difficult to find out, because there are many geometrical objects areas you need to remember. There are many data types you need to remember, the print and read functions. So what they made is that this is what overloading. If you apply a concept called overloading, the same thing.
Okay.
If you see to the bank database, the customer is having an access, right? Read access. And the teller is having the read access. Manager is having the read access. Admin is also having the read access. Instead of writing customer read, manager read, admin read, and then teller read, I can use only the function called read, but I'll be changing the parameter. Based on the parameter, the corresponding read function can be executed. Means I am avoiding multiple names of the methods, so that I can remember only few methods. But how you can resolve it? By the number of parameters or by the type of the parameter. This is what overloading is called as. Is it clear what is overloading?
Okay.
Yeah. So then we have something called overriding. Overloading is happening only one class, right? Overloading we are discussing within only one class.
class.
If the same thing is happening in two different classes, but two different classes doesn't have any relation, but still we can have a relation through inheritance, right? We can have a relation through inheritance, right? Yeah.
Kumar, I just need to go now. Can I just?
Okay.
Can I
Yeah,
just?
yeah, can.
I will
Yes,
work
yes.
the
Anyway, the time is up also. You can. Yeah, I'll just write the definition. We can discuss example tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. What is overriding? Stephen?
Something we are overriding, like if there is a output, if you want to override the output, we can. In banking language, we can say that we can override client's account by debiting the credit,
Yeah,
debiting and
overriding
crediting.
is something like, yeah. Overriding something like you are defining it and new, right?
Yeah.
But when we override in a normal real-time scenario, what you said is 100% correct. In a real scenario, when you override something, what happens is that the existing will be overwritten by the new one, right?
The new one.
The existing will be wiped. But the concept of Java overriding is that the existing will be existing, and you'll be getting the new one also. This is how the overriding can be defined. I'll give the technical definition of overriding. If a method, see, in overloading, the number of parameters are different, the type of parameters are different, right? But here nothing will be different, everything is same. If a method was declared in base and derived classes with same signature, see, with same signature. Same signature means not only the name same, the number of parameters same, and the type of parameter same. Then the base class method is said to be overridden. This is what the definition of overriding. So if you have two methods with same signature, one method in base class and one method in derived class, so then the derived class method is overriding the base class method. The base class method said to be overridden.
Yeah.
Suppose nowadays we have all out, like, so we are using something like LEDs and then plasma TVs at home, right? I want to just see Charlie Chaplin, like some some episodes of Charlie Chaplin. What you do when you play the CD, are you getting, since your TV is of what, so $100 or $200, can you get it in color? Because the
Yes.
original film was made in black and white. See,
You're asking for the
that's
existing one?
yeah, existing one.
No. No.
Because means the latest technology, means the derived class, even though it is new and the functionality was overridden, so it can exhibit new functionality for the current things. But if you are trying to open the previous things, the base class functionality should be exhibited. Means overriding means the base class functionality will be extended by the derived class. So we'll see with an example in tomorrow's session. Okay.
Okay.
So the same time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Oh.
So tomorrow also Java session will continue because yesterday we have lost the class, right?
Yeah.
Actually tomorrow I thought of starting Selenium.
Kumar, I've just installed the Eclipse and everything, but I don't know if I've installed the right one or not. It is asking me to give a workspace. So what workspace should I provide when I'm
Any folder you create and just give the path. That's it.
okay? And after once I have given the workspace,
Yeah.
it is asking me to launch. And we have to create a new Java web report, web project, right?
Yeah. No, not web one. This is, you go to file. For the first time, you don't find Java project over here.
Okay.
Others.
Okay, file and go for open or new.
And then Java project you select.
Oh, Java,
And click
Java
on next.
plus.
Yeah. Click on next.
I don't
Name
see,
your
I don't
project
see a
and
Java project here.
yeah, first time you cannot see. You click on
Okay.
file. You won't see the
Yeah.
Java project. So
Okay.
you can go to others.
Okay.
Click on other. You will be seeing the Java project.
Okay, one second. I'm just. Okay, so now I should select Java project, right?
Yeah. This
Next
Saturday online.
and
Okay, you select.
yeah, and the project name is Selenium training, right?
Anything it can
US.
be. So
Okay.
you can name any project. Like you can say Java project. Click on next.
Yeah.
And you name your project. You name your
Yeah.
project. And then this finish button will be activated.
Yeah. It activated. So,
Yeah. Click on finish button.
so it's saying this
Means so
the
far
kind
your,
of project is associated
yeah,
with the Java perspective.
yeah. Do you want to remember that perspective? It will be asking.
Yeah.
So you say
So
okay.
yeah. Yes. Okay.
When you say okay, from the next time, the Java project perspective is available in your file menu.
Okay. So yeah, I can see the Java project.
Yeah. After creating Java project and all, you know, right? Just creating a class inside a Java project and then do it. If you create
But
one project,
again, it's asking for the project name. Should I provide a project name here?
again, no need to go for again new. So once you create your project, what you need to do is that you are getting in the package explorer your project.
Yeah.
Eclipse.
Can you able to see?
Yes.
So this
So
is the
you
one,
just
right?
click
File?
on close button of welcome. In the welcome screen there is a close button, right?
Yeah.
Click there, close it.
Yeah.
Go to file menu.
Yeah.
Go to file menu.
File menu.
Yeah, already one project was created. Selenium training.
So
It's okay.
this is the one,
So
right?
if you are trying to, this is the one. Yeah.
Oh, this is the one. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Just right click on that Selenium training.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
No,
right
nothing.
click on the project, you'll be getting new class or something. New,
Yeah.
you get class,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, you can create class directly. Come down. Yes. Yeah.
And I can give the
It will be
name.
showing. Yeah, you can give the name. That is class name. That is not project name.
Oh,
Use
okay.
simple.
So,
Yeah, you can check public static void main.
okay.
After giving the name, the finish button will be activated.
Oh, I can give the whatever the class name,
Yeah,
like a demo something.
yeah. Finish. So the class will be open.
Oh,
You
okay.
can write.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write the code and click on run button to execute.
Okay. Okay. This is where I was so stuck. I was trying to install because last time when I tried it didn't work.
Okay, it's
So
okay.
again, I went to your previous class and I tried to log in, but I was stuck over there. Well, anyways, thank you so much for the help.
It's okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Kumar.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thanks you too. Good night. Bye.
Any queries from the? Okay.